would you do a compassionate transfer?
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
a good
is
question.
the question.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
if push comes to shove, do you think you would do it?
Hillary referenced a podcast that we listened to, and they kept using the phrase giving embryos the best chance at life. And so that actually kind of took me into some other thought processes besides compassionate transfer, specifically the idea of more natural transfers and not using medication. So these guys, again, you can tell they didn't have a lot of understanding of the medical side. And so we always take those perspectives with a grain of salt. And so, they even were talking about how like not using medication could be considered not giving an embryo the best chance at life, which I disagree with completely. And so we've both done natural transfers, and so we feel successfully and feel good about that, and know that the Lord is the most powerful. He knows our bodies, and he knows these embryos, and he knows whether they should be life. So when going into compassionate transfer, the big push with compassionate transfer is also not using medication, just putting the embryo in. And I feel okay with that. Like I specifically do feel okay with that. So for us, as in my husband and I, we are sitting in the seat of, we have excess embryos we don't know what to do with, and we potentially are done having children because we're getting old. So would I do a compassionate transfer? I still think, as my husband and I talk about it, we still feel like we don't know. Like we still feel like it's heavy. It's a hard decision. Does it feel like a better option? It does. But are we trying to justify a situation that we're in that we don't want to be in? I don't know. If I look at it from pulling myself out of the equation and what I believe and where my heart is, and versus on paper, I don't know. And that's not a good, I don't know.
We don't have good answers.
We don't have good answers. And it stinks. It's a daunting topic for us. And we are just like, we've always just been like, okay, one embryo at a time. It's a little bit sickening, honestly. Like it can be really unsettling to think about. So I don't know. And as someone sitting in the seat of still having to make these decisions that feel so hard, God's been so good to remind me of like his grace is sufficient, and he is near, and he is with me, and he is going to guide me, and he is going to make it all work. And that he knows that we're in a place we don't want to be in.
Yeah.
And I wish I had known what I know now, obviously 10 years ago, but I didn't. And that's life. That's not just fertility. That's life. And the Lord has grace for us 10 years in all things, 10 years forward of wishing we had known what we know now. And so I trust that he's going to help us make this decision in a way that we will have peace long term.